Hey, welcome to a new video. Near Lake Titicaca in the Andes Mountains of Peru lies Aramu Muru, also known as Puerta de Hayumaca, or the Gate of the Gods. It's a mysterious archaeological site, discovered in 1996 by a local guy named Jose Luis Delgado Mamani. This enigmatic structure, carved into the Hayumaca mountain, has become one of the most controversial and intriguing sites in South America. The mountain near Lake Titicaca is believed to have been an important place of worship and pilgrimage for the Inca civilization. Within this mountain lies Aramu Muru, a large door-like structure carved from solid rock. The Gate of the Gods stands approximately 23 feet or 7 meters high, and 23 feet or 7 meters wide, with a T-shaped design and circular recess in the middle. Some speculate that the recess may have served ceremonial or astronomical purposes. There's also those who believe it was made by an ancient pre-Inca civilization, while others suggest extraterrestrial origins. According to indigenous legends, heroes from the past would pass through this gate to meet their gods, to obtain immortality and live alongside them. It's also said that some men return through the gate to Earth with their gods to oversee their kingdoms. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video.
The Yong Shan quarry is an ancient quarry located near Nanjing, China, on Mount Yong Shan, also known as Yanmin Shan, which is part of the Kongshan mountain range. The quarry is famous for its massive unfinished stele. Commissioned in 1405 by the Yongle Emperor, son of the Hongwu Emperor, the stele was intended as a monument for his father. The stone measures 99.5 feet or 30.35 meters in length, 42.6 feet or 13 meters in width, and 52.5 feet or 16 meters in height, with an estimated weight of 16,250 tons. However, after most of the stone cutting was completed, architects realized that transporting such a large block from Yangshan to Mingjiaolin, let alone installing it, was physically impossible. Evidence suggests that millions of tons of rock had already been moved from the quarry, leaving towering flat walls that challenge traditional quarrying practices. This implies that those operating the quarry possess advanced tech for extracting and transporting these massive stones.
The mystery of giant skeletons hidden in the dark corners of caves has tantalized our imagination for generations. But wait until you hear about the recent photo that rocked the internet. A gigantic serpent carcass. This revelation has sparked speculation about epic battles between a long-lost civilization of giants and these colossal serpents. From Greek mythology to indigenous folklore, snakes are often depicted as formidable creatures, evoking a mix of awe and fear. And while scientists have yet to stumble upon irrefutable evidence that giant snakes once inhabited our planet, the legend of the Titanoboa speaks volume, a prehistoric monster reportedly reaching 49 feet or 15 meters in length. These tales fuel speculation that somewhere in the pristine depths of our world, evidence lies hidden that could bring these myths to life. The Tomb of the Winged Demons is an archaeological discovery from 2005 in Savona, Italy. It's tucked away in the necropolis of Falsetto, and the tomb resembles a sort of building with a facade that resembles a kiosk. Inside there's a deep space with a niche where the figure lies, as if it's lying in a bed. This figure holds some sort of cup, and the sculpture is painted red where exposed and white for the clothing. Originally, there were two statues of female demons with wings on either side of the niche. Only the left side holding a torch has been well preserved. There were also two sculptures on elevated podiums at the front. Only the one on the left, representing a lion, remains well visible. The centerpiece of the tomb was a statue of a sea demon with large wings, which is now well protected in a fenced structure nearby. Between 1912 and 1939, with interruptions due to World War II, the city of Uruk was discovered. Located in present-day Iraq, Uruk holds significant importance in ancient Mesopotamian history. Dating back to the late 4th millennium BCE, the White Temple was a monument dedicated to the sky god Anu, and built on the Anu Ziggurat. This temple, with its decorated walls covered in white plaster, towered over the flat landscape of Uruk and was visible from a great distance. Dedicated to the Sumerian sky god Anu, the Anu Ziggurat was an enormous terrace structure. A notable artifact discovered was the Uruk vase from the late 4th millennium BCE. This alabaster vase was over 3 foot or 1 meter tall, and weighed around 595 pounds or 270 kilograms. It was found in the temple complex dedicated to the goddess Inanna, the principal patron deity of Uruk. The Mask of Orca, also known as the Lady of Uruk, is another significant artifact and is considered one of the earliest representations of the human face. The Inanna district, located in Uruk, was a prominent site associated with the worship of the goddess Inanna. It was also one of the earliest examples of monumental public architecture. Maori sculptures are an integral part of the rich cultural heritage in New Zealand's indigenous Maori population. These sculptures, known as wakairo, are elaborate wooden carvings that are deeply symbolic. They often depict ancestral figures, mythological creatures, or significant events in Maori history. These sculptures are typically crafted from a special type of wood and are meticulously created using traditional tools and techniques. The sculptures are found in various contexts and serve as powerful visual reputations of Maori spirituality. Each sculpture tells a unique story with profound spiritual significance, connecting the present generation to their ancestors and the natural world. Maori sculptures are not only decorative art, but are also considered treasures. The Euphrates River is an important river in Western Asia, with a rich history that has supported the lives of ancient civilizations. During a drought, when the river dried up, literal treasures and possibly biblical discoveries were found. Among them are a completely lost castle and an eerie tunnel. The Hostek Castle is incredibly intriguing and feels like a quest, as it's carved into the mountain along the Euphrates River. When they started building a dam there, it was completely submerged, and nowadays you can only reach it by boat. For the public and historians, the various rooms connected by long corridors are accessible. A significant drop in the water level of the Euphrates rivers revealed an underground tunnel with well-preserved construction and intact stairs. However, the question remains, who built it? An ancient civilization would be the initial answer, but some believe that this tunnel is actually mentioned in the Bible and would lead to where angels are imprisoned. Which theory would you prefer to be true? Let me know in the comments. When you first hear this story, it's also unbelievable, but apparently there's a laboratory where they're working on creating a monster that has multiple heads. You've probably heard of the hydra, a mythical monster that resembled a snake or a dragon and had multiple heads. The monster that scientists have created in this laboratory is called the mini hydra. Not only that, but it's said to be immortal. Researchers are about to improve the characteristics of the hydra so that it will be able to regenerate perfectly. In fact, they found a way to regenerate its head because previously it could not grow new heads, only other parts of its body. This research is very important because the information about the hydra can help in research about the human body and even provide more information about diseases and their development. Mitla is an archaeological site in Oaxaca, Mexico, known for its unique mosaics adorning various buildings. The site has an intriguing history, having been used by various pre-Columbian cultures, including the Zapotecs and Mixtecs. The original function of Mitla is believed to be a burial site, as indicated by its name, Mictlan, meaning place of the dead, or underworld. Visible remains of the site date from the period between 200 and 900 AD, where it was under Zapotec rule. Unlike the tesserae-based mosaics of the Romans, the mosaics in Mitla were made using stone-cut pieces inlaid on panels, known as fretwork. These mosaics feature step and fret designs similar to those seen in ancient civilizations, such as the Greeks, Romans, and Egyptians. The carved symbols found in the Mitla mosaics have sparked speculation among researchers, with some suggesting that these symbols may contain a coded language yet to be deciphered. The Trilithon stones at Baalbek are a group of 3 massive stone blocks located in Baalbek, Lebanon. Known in antiquity as Heliopolis, Baalbek is an archaeological site featuring a massive acropolis on a hill called Tau Baalbek. The Trilithon stones are part of a podium wall in the Roman Temple of Jupiter Baal complex. Each of these stones is approximately 62 feet or 19 meters long, as well as 13.8 feet or 4.2 meters high, 11.8 feet or 3.6 meters thick, and weigh about 750 to 800 tons. The supporting stone layer beneath the Trilithon includes stones estimated to weigh around 350 tons and measure 36 feet or 11 meters in width. While most scholars agree that the stones were carved by the Romans, evidence suggests that they may predate Roman presence in the region. Some theories propose that the stones are older than Alexander the Great. Just the name of this cave will send shivers down your spine. The Cave of Horror is located near the silent, expansive waters of the Dead Sea in Israel. This location houses a discovery of the Western Dead Sea Scrolls, ancient manuscripts shedding light on the earliest versions of the Hebrew Bible and the religious lives of ancient Jewish communities. Discovered in the middle of the 20th century, these scrolls are not only an archaeological sensation, but also a window into the past, giving us a rare insight into times long gone. With its dark corridors and chasms that seem to lead to unknown abysses, a sense of ominous silence envelops the cave. For adventurers and history enthusiasts wanting to unravel the mysteries of our world, this place offers a terrifying yet irresistible adventure. Have you ever heard of the Baalbek statue, also known as Uferman? No? This is actually the oldest life-size statue ever discovered. It was found in an ancient city in Turkey. Professor Klaus Schmidt, a renowned archaeologist, thought that this statue was quite important. The statue stands over 5.9 feet tall and is considered a kind of cult statue. It's the only one of its kind ever discovered. But why was it here?
No one knows for sure, but some people think it has something to do with fertility. But that's just an idea, because fertility was important to ancient people. The statue has no mouth but fascinating obsidian eyes, which is quite mysterious. Who do you think the statue represents? Perhaps it's a god, a king, or something else? The Ziggurat of Ur is an ancient structure located near Nasiriyah in present-day Dakwar province, which is in Iraq. It's a well-preserved ziggurat that served as a place of worship and as an administrative center in the city of Ur during ancient Mesopotamia. The ziggurat was built around the 21st century BCE by King Urnamu of the 3rd dynasty of Ur and was dedicated to the moon god Nana, also known as Sin. It was a massive steeped pyramid, approximately 210 feet or 64 meters long, 148 feet or 45 meters wide, and over 98 feet or 30 meters high. However, only the foundations of the ziggurat have survived the test of time. This site was considered a sanctuary for the moon god Nana, the patron deity of Ur. King Shulgi completed the construction of the ziggurat and declared himself a god to gain the loyalty of other cities. The inhabitants brought their agricultural surpluses as offerings to Nana and received their regular food rations from the temple.
In a remarkable incident, an old police dog named Kyle led Officer John Smith to a tree where they discovered something that prompted them to call the police. Initially, Kyle's persistent barking caught their attention and directed them to the tree. Since Kyle was once a police dog with an infallible nose, everyone was certain that he had found something illegal, likely illegal substances in the tree. Intrigued and motivated, Smith carefully peeled back the loose bark, revealing a cavity in the oak tree. To their astonishment, they found what appeared to be a well-preserved human skeleton hidden inside the tree. Authorities were immediately called, and a whole team arrived to cut the tree down. However, upon closer examination, it was ultimately determined that the skeleton was in fact fake. The discovery turned out to be a prank or Halloween scare that someone had intentionally placed in the tree bark, and then forgotten about. Instances of fake skeletons or other objects being hidden in trees for various reasons are not unheard of. The village named Asaredo in Spain was submerged in 1992 to create the Alto Lindoso Reservoir. The village named Asaredo in Spain was submerged in 1992 to create the Alto Lindoso Reservoir. But now, the reservoir is only 50% full. The ruins of the village have become visible again. Visitors to the site have discovered partially collapsed buildings, debris, and even an old rusting car. The reappearance of the village has attracted a large number of tourists, some who remember the village from before the flooding. Asaredo is located in the northwest region of Galicia in Spain, near the Spanish-Portuguese border. When the reservoir was constructed in the 1990s, it became submerged. Due to the persistent drought, the reservoir behind the dam almost emptied, revealing the ruins of the village that had been underwater for nearly 30 years. The eerie atmosphere of the village has also ignited the imagination of many, who are drawn to the stories of abandoned places and lost civilizations. The following story I found is hard to believe, but apparently a giant baby has been found in an abandoned secret laboratory in the United States. A group of scouts were shocked when they made this discovery and immediately contacted the CIA and police. According to the article, this information would be top secret and the government doesn't want too many people to know about it. However, according to the guy who found this giant baby, the child was part of a secret biological experiment and was left there forgotten for a decade. It's no big secret that the United States has done experiments on humans in the past, but let's hope that this case was just a hoax and that we're dealing with a made-up story.
The Thunderstone is a massive granite boulder that serves as the pedestal for the famous bronze horseman statue of Peter the Great in St. Petersburg, Russia. Discovered in Lakhta, 3.7 miles or 6 kilometers inland from the Gulf of Finland in 1768, the stone was named after a local legend, that apparently part of it was split by thunder. Before being shaped into its final form as a pedestal, the Thunderstone was estimated to weigh around 1,500 tons. It was transported 3.7 miles overland from the marshes of Lakhta to the Gulf of Finland during the winter of 1768, dragged over the frozen Russian landscape on a metal sledge by 400 men. The process took 9 months, after which the stone was transported by boat to St. Petersburg. The Thunderstone is claimed to be the largest stone ever moved by humans without the use of animals or even machinery.
Hidden in the Himalayas of Nepal lies Mustang, a mysterious cave system full of mysteries. These caves are so ancient they seem to defy time itself. It once served as a refuge for people braving the rugged wilderness. According to legend, the caves were built by gods or demons, guardians of deep underground treasures. Another legend tales of immortal monks with magical powers. masters of the secrets of eternal life, who had left the enchanting sculptures and murals. Then there's the story that the cave served as the backdrop for the rituals of the Bon religion, serving as a portal to the underworld for communication with the spirits. With its mix of natural beauty and centuries-old legends, Mustang offers a unique glimpse into the world that is both beautiful and mysterious, a place where the past still lives on today. In the vast southern deserts of the Arabian Peninsula lies a legendary lost city known as the Atlantis of the Sands. The story goes that this city was destroyed by a natural disaster, or as a punishment from God. According to the Quran, the city was destroyed because its people abandoned the teachings of the prophethood. The tale of Ubar, once a city of immense wealth that was laid to waste, also appears in ancient stories like those of 1001 Arabian Nights. In the 20th century, brave explorers including T.E. Lawrence sought to uncover the truth about Ubar. Another explorer believed that Ubar truly existed after discovering wide camel tracks in the desert. In 1944, an Air Force mechanic named Raymond accidentally stumbled upon the alleged location of this lost city. He claimed to have found remnants of the city, including towering structures and towers 39 feet high. One theory suggests that Ubar is actually an oasis called Shisar, with pottery fragments dating back to at least 2,000 years. Eridu is considered one of the oldest cities in the world and is connected with the Anunnaki deity Enki. This ancient city, founded around 5400 BCE and located in present-day Abu Shadin in Iraq, is among the oldest ruins in Mesopotamia. It was believed that the city was created by the gods to bring order to the earth, with Eridu as the starting point. It was the home of the god Enki, initially a local god of fresh water, but later associated with wisdom, magic, and other attributes. Enki's temple, known as the House of the Aquifer, was the main center of the city of Eridu and still exists, though it's been rebuilt multiple times. Eridu is also linked with Sumerian magic and myths, with texts such as Incantation of Eridu believed to compel the gods in the name of Marduk. It's also thought to be one of the first cities where the Anunnaki descended and genetically manipulated humanity. These theories are fueled by the mention of the Anunnaki in ancient texts, and the advanced nature of Sumerian civilization, which some believe could not have arisen without extraterrestrial help. Additionally, it's speculated that technologies far ahead of their time were used in Eridu.
Some say it's chained to prevent its branches from falling. Others believe in a more sinister story. In the charming town of Alton in England stands a remarkable tree with a ghostly tail, known as the chained oak. This ancient oak tree has captured the imagination of locals and visitors for centuries. According to legend, the tree was once bound with heavy iron chains to appease the spirit of a deceased earl who had cursed the land. The Earl of Shrewsbury was his name, and on a stormy evening, he mercilessly turned away a beggar. In retaliation, the beggar placed a curse on the Earl, declaring that when the oak's last branch would fall, he would meet his end. Fearing his impending fate, the Earl ordered that the tree be chained in hopes of preserving his life, its branches extending and held in place by rusty iron chains. However, the tree has become a popular tourist attraction, drawing visitors fascinated by its eerie history. Whether one believes in the curse or not, it undeniably provides a captivating sight that evokes thoughts of the supernatural. The petrified forest of Borth is a 4,500-year-old forest located in the Welsh coastal town of Borth. Over the centuries, the area gradually became covered with sand and water. It wasn't until 2014 that it re-emerged after a massive storm removed large amounts of sand from the beach. Remains of tree species such as oak, ash, and birch were exposed, and radiocarbon dating has dated them back to around 1500 BC. Oxygen-poor characteristics of the area have helped preserve the remains. The forest is associated with the enduring myth of a submerged civilization known as Canteguaald, a sort of Welsh Atlantis. Supporters of the lost city believe the buried forest might have been part of a mythical land. According to local legends, a gatekeeper named Siathenin was drunk and failed to close the sluices. As a result, the land was flooded, and many people drowned except for a few who managed to escape to higher ground.
We all know that mosquitoes can be dangerous because they carry all kinds of bacteria. But could you have ever imagined that the government would create a special program to breed artificially designed mosquitoes that will kill mosquitoes in the wild? In fact, the US government has approved a project called Mosquito Mate that aims to breed mosquitoes that will help stop the spread of certain diseases. Yes, you heard that right. These mosquitoes are released into the wild to help stop the spread of viruses such as Zika and dengue. The mosquitoes are specially designed to carry a neutral bacteria that kills other insects. The project is said to have already been approved in 20 states, and it all started in Kentucky.
By the way, did you know that mosquitoes kill about 725,000 people a year? So let's hope this experiment will reduce those serious diseases.
In northwest Australia in 2017, the world's largest dinosaur footprint was discovered, nearly 6 feet or 1.75 meters long. The footprint belonged to a sauropod, a long-necked herbivorous dinosaur, surpassing the previous record of a 3.8-foot or 1.15-meter-long footprint found in Bolivia, belonging to a carnivorous dinosaur. This remarkable find was on the Dampier Peninsula, where a total of 21 different dinosaur footprints have also been found, some dating back to as far as 140 million years ago. This discovery is considered the most diverse dinosaur footprint fauna ever recorded. The ideal conditions on the peninsula allow for the creation and preservation of these tracks, making the find truly spectacular. According to lead researcher Dr. Steve Salisbury, someone traveling 130 million years back in time would have seen several dinosaur species along this coastline. In addition to the enormous sauropod footprint, this discovery is also quite significant because it provides the first confirmed evidence of Stegosaurus in Australia.
The name of ancient Egyptian queen Hatshepsut is inscribed on a 98-foot-tall or 30-meter obelisk weighing 320 tons. This towering monument made of solid Aswan granite is the tallest standing obelisk in Egypt. Queen Hatshepsut, who reigned in the 15th century BCE, was known for her architectural projects, including the construction of the Temple of Amun at Karnak. The ancient Egyptians likely carved this obelisk from a single piece of granite in the quarries of Aswan, and then transported it approximately 125 miles, or 200 kilometers to Thebes, which is modern Luxor, via the Nile River. Transporting and erecting such an enormous stone would have required advanced engineering techniques, possibly involving sledges, rollers, and lubrication to reduce friction. The obelisk symbolizes Hatshepsut's divine authority and her connection to the sun god Ra, with its pointed shape representing a ray of sunlight linking her to divine light and power.
In the heart of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, hidden beneath the lush jungle and beneath the scorching sun, lies the mysterious Hell's Bell cenote. This natural wonder, famous for its crystal-clear waters and impressive rock formations, is a gateway to a world full of secrets begging to be discovered. Numerous expeditions have attempted to explore the complex network of underground caves and passages, but the full mystery has never been revealed. It's whispered that these dark cave waterways may lead to Xibalba, the legendary Maya underworld, or even hiding places of unknown sea creatures. The Yucatan Peninsula harbors the longest underwater cave systems in the world, and the Hell's Bell cenote is part of this giant network. Adventurers who dive deeper into the serene surface risk getting lost to the endless labyrinths of caves, a journey with no guarantee of return. Long ago, a Viking woman named Gudrid embarked on a remarkable journey with her husband in a small group. They crossed the sea farther than the map extended, long before Columbus discovered America. But Gudrid's adventures did not end there. In her lifetime, she made as many as 8 voyages across the perilous North Atlantic Ocean, surpassing the achievements of all the other Vikings. According to Viking tales, she traveled from North America to Scandinavia and even to Rome. That means she set foot in America 500 years before Columbus. The story of this woman is described in 2 Viking tales, known as the Saga of the Greenlanders and the Saga of Eric the Red, together known as the Vinland Sagas. However, there's a misconception that Viking women were not as tough as men. But according to Nancy Mary Brown, the author of the 2007 book The Far Traveler: Voyages of a Viking Woman, Gudrid's story proves this isn't true. Gudrid's experiences show that Viking women are just as brave and adventurous as their male counterparts, and that it's possible a woman discovered America for the first time. The Sumerian King List is an ancient manuscript that records the kings of Sumer, an ancient region in southern Iraq, as well as neighboring dynasties. It combines mythical pre-dynastic rulers with historical rulers known to have existed. The list was discovered in the early 20th century at various excavation sites and dates from different periods, including the Ur III period and the Old Babylonian period. The artifact consists of several fragments of clay tablets etched with cuneiform script. It lists the names of Sumerian cities, the kings who ruled there, and the lengths of their reigns. The reigns of the early kings, especially in the earlier versions of the list, often span thousands of years. According to the list, 8 kings reigned before the Great Flood, after which various city-states and their dynasties gained power over the region. The longest reign mentioned is 43,200 years. There are many Anunnaki gods considered the most powerful and significant in the Sumerian pantheon. Each major deity was associated with a specific city and was believed to reside permanently in the temple of that city. According to Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki played the role in the creation of human beings by altering the DNA of primates. It was believed that humans were created as slaves under the domination of the Anunnaki gods.
An extraordinary discovery has provided scientists with a remarkable glimpse into a crucial moment in Earth's history, approximately 42,000 years ago. The key to this revelation lies within a fossilized quarry tree, whose lifespan coincided with a period when the planet's magnetic field was in a state of complete chaos. These findings shed light on a phenomenon known as geomagnetic excursion, during which the Earth's magnetic field is nearly reversed. Quarry trees native to New Zealand have the remarkable ability to record their own history in their growth rings. In this specific case, researchers obtained a well-preserved quarry log from a swamp in Nagawa Springs. By analyzing the tree's growth rings, they were able to determine the age of the log to be approximately 42,000 years old. This time period coincided with an event known as the Lashop excursion, a period in which Earth's magnetic field significantly weakened and nearly reversed. The growth rings of the tree contain a record of the environmental conditions it experienced during its lifespan. By using carbon dating and precise measurements of isotopes, researchers were able to correlate the patterns in the growth rings with fluctuations in the magnetic field.
Once a thriving 20th century resort, this place was submerged underwater, but has seen a change nowadays. The submerged village of Villa Epokean was located along the shores of Lake Epokean. It was a popular vacation spot for many decades due to the healing properties of the highly salty water. The resort was particularly favored by the affluent and celebrities, and high-end establishments were set up to cater to elite clients. However, in 1985, a dam broke, flooding the entire resort and burying it under 33 feet or 10 meters of water. The village remained underwater for almost 25 years, until the wet weather began to reverse in 2009, causing the village to resurface. Today, the village is completely devastated and is considered an abandoned ghost town with dilapidated buildings, rusted vehicles, and skeletal trees protruding through the shallow water. Despite this, the village has become a popular destination for tourists from around the world who come to admire the site and take photographs. Are you someone who loves to explore abandoned places? Then you will find this next topic very interesting, because some guys managed to find an abandoned laboratory that was under strict protection and forbidden to enter. Nevertheless, they decided to sneak in, and they found out that it was a science laboratory operating in the 1950s. It specialized in the production of agricultural chemicals, and some creepy experiments were conducted there. The laboratory is huge, and it looks devastated today because no one has lived or worked there for years. There is some equipment left as you walk on. There are some rooms that look very creepy. This laboratory is a huge complex, and it's hard to tell how big it actually is. Would you like to explore this place? Let me know in the comments. In 2018, while searching for scientific equipment left by the Baden expedition from 1800 to 1803, Australian filmmakers made a surprising discovery in a remote Western Australia. Instead of finding traces of Napoleonic exploration, they unearthed a 6-inch or 15-centimeter tall bronze Buddha statue, weighing just over 2.2 pounds or 1 kilogram. Experts believe that the Buddha statue was likely made in China several centuries ago, during the Ming Dynasty. The Australian filmmakers preparing to make a documentary about French exploration of Australia used metal detectors to search the area. Experts have suggested two possible explanations for the presence of the Buddha statue in Western Australia. The most intriguing explanation is that it may have arrived during the Ming treasure voyages of 1421. This theory suggests that the Chinese visited the region nearly 200 years ago, before the Dutch explorer Dirk Hartog landed in 1616. Another possibility is that the statue came to the northwest coast of Australia in the 150 years or so since the 1870s, when it was known that the Chinese were coming to the area.
The Grand Menhir Breeze is an ancient megalithic monument located in Brittany, France. It's renowned as one of the largest single stone blocks ever transported and erected by Neolithic people. The menhir, now broken into several pieces, was originally estimated to stand over 65 feet, or 20 meters tall, and weigh about 330 tons. It's believed to have been broken around 400 BCE, possibly due to human intervention or natural causes, such as an earthquake or a lightning strike. The stone was quarried from a rocky outcrop. The techniques used for its transportation and erection during the Neolithic period remains a subject of debate.
On a cold night in February 2019, a group of archaeologists unveiled a secret that had been hidden for centuries in the shadows of the Creswell Crags caves in Nottinghamshire. They stumbled upon what is now known as the largest collection of witch marks in all of Great Britain. These mysterious markings are scratched into the stone at the cave entrance, on the walls, and around the hearth, and they tell a chilling story. The markings, carefully made with sharp objects, depict patterns such as VV for Virgo Virginum and PM for Per Mariam, intended as shields against witches and the malevolent entities. This fascinating discovery offers a glimpse into the intense concern and superstition that gripped people of that time. But the creators of these markings were not the first inhabitants of these caves. Creswell Crags has a long history of human presence, dating back to the Ice Age. For generations, people sought refuge in these caves, a tradition that continued into the Middle Ages, the period where these markings were made. It was a time when churches and houses were often adorned with similar symbols, but the presence of these marks in a cave is quite a rarity. It suggests that Creswell Crags served as a safe haven during times of social unrest. The unfinished northern pyramid, also known as the Pyramid of Baka, is a pyramid dating back to the Old Kingdom, somewhere between 2613 and 2494 BCE. Many scholars believe that the figure known as King Baccharis could actually be Baka, whose name was Hellenized. Hellenized means that his name was adapted under the influence of Greek culture, which spread after the conquest of Alexander the Great. This pyramid is particularly remarkable because of its gigantic shaft and a chamber with colossal granite blocks, measuring about 15 feet long, 8 feet thick, and weighing 9 tons each. In that chamber, archaeologists found an enormous pink granite sarcophagus embedded in the floor. It's so large that it was likely placed there before the chamber was sealed. The sarcophagus, 10 feet long, 7 feet wide, and 5 feet deep, even had an oval lid. There's rumors that remains were found inside, but they've been unfortunately lost. Excavations were interrupted by the First World War, but renewed attention came in 1954 when a film set was built for the land of the pharaoh. Nowadays, the site's even a military-restricted area.
The Enuma Elish is considered one of the oldest known creation myths and is a key source for understanding the ancient Babylonian worldview. These cuneiform tablets, also known as the Seven Tablets of Creation, contain the Babylonian creation myth. The title, Enuma Elish, is derived from the opening lines of the text, which translate to "when on high." This myth narrates the story of the god Marduk's victory over forces of chaos and the establishment of order during the creation of the world. Marduk, the principal Babylonian god, commands about 600 Anunnaki gods, sending 300 to the heavens and 300 to the earth. The tablets containing the myth were found in the ruins of Ashurbanipal's library in Nineveh, present-day Iraq, and date back to around 1200 BCE. The Enuma Elish was likely compiled during the Second Dynasty of Isin, although there is some scholarly debate over the exact dating. It consists of 7 cuneiform tablets, copied by ancient Assyrians and Babylonians. It's regarded as the oldest written creation story, possibly dating back to the 2nd millennium BCE.
Basque tree inscriptions refer to a form of cultural and historical expression found in the Basque region of Europe. Tree inscriptions are carvings or inscriptions made on the bark of trees, usually by shepherds or travelers, and they serve as a record of their experiences, thoughts, or messages. Basque tree inscriptions are particularly fascinating because they provide insight into Basque culture, language, and history. These inscriptions can be found on various tree species, such as beech, oak, chestnut, and pine, and they often contain a combination of text, symbols, and images. The content of Basque tree inscriptions is diverse and can encompass a range of topics. Some inscriptions depict pastoral scenes, religious symbols, or personal messages, while others may contain political or social commentary. The inscriptions can also provide information about local customs, folklore, or even serve as a way for shepherds to indicate their presence or claim territorial rights.
In 2022, drought conditions in Texas uncovered dinosaur footprints that are normally concealed by the Paluxy River. The dinosaur footprints were last visible in the year 2000, but the severe drought caused the river to dry up and reveal the tracks once again. Estimated to be around 113 million years old, they were mainly made by the carnivorous Acrocanthosaurus, which lived during the early Cretaceous period. The drought unveiled about 140 tracks from a single individual dinosaur, of which 60 were visible when the river water receded. Other tracks were left by the Sauroposeidon, a dinosaur that could reach up to 59 feet or 18 meters in height and weigh up to 40 tons. Preserved in limestone, the dinosaur footprints are somewhat protected, but weathering and erosion will ultimately destroy them. They are not only impressive for being cool, but also because they can offer valuable insights into the daily lives of dinosaurs. When we think of cyborgs, you quickly think of science fiction movies or the incredible speed and technology today with robots. Back in 2006, the US government put out a request to develop new technologies to create cyber insects. It may sound strange, but the government planned to create micro-air vehicles, which had to be small enough to spy on dangerous areas and remain undetected. However, this was not an easy job. But the scientists managed to create the defy micro that is less than 10 centimeters in size and can stay in the air for only 3 minutes.
The great thing is that the flies can be programmed and controlled. But scientists are also on another creation, namely robot rats. These robot rats were created by building special impulses into their brains that can control their movements and behaviors. Pretty creepy, don't you think?
Knossos, located just outside the city of Heracleon, has numerous connections to Greek mythology, including the tales of Theseus and the Minotaur. One reason for our limited knowledge of the Minoan civilization is the deconstruction and subsequent reconstruction of Knossos. Knossos itself was destroyed and rebuilt at least twice, with the palace also being rebuilt. After the final destruction by fire, the city was abandoned and eventually forgotten. It was not until 1878 when Sir Arthur Evans rediscovered Knossos. According to some versions, the palace itself was the labyrinth, a conclusion supported by Arthur Evans during his excavations. Other stories suggest that the labyrinth was beneath the palace. A popular version suggests that King Minos hired the famous architect and inventor Daedalus to design the palace in such a way that anyone who entered would be hopelessly lost. Suspecting that Daedalus might reveal the secrets of the maze, King Minos imprisoned him and his son Icarus in a tower. However, they managed to make wings from bird feathers and wax, with which they escaped from the tower. Unfortunately, Icarus flew too close to the sun, causing the wax to melt him and plummet him to his death. Which discovery surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.